What's good, YouTube? It's your girl, Nick. Let's get into this week's episode of House of the Dragon. This is Season 1, Episode 4, King of the Narrow Sea. This was another good episode. The show was very well written. I'm just hoping as it goes on and on, when we start to get towards the end, it won't get weird and start to have bad writing like the original Game of Thrones had. But let's get into this week's episode. So, first of all, we start out with Rhaenyra doing like how the reality shows do, going on a tour of pageants or auditions for prospective husbands. She's sitting there with a ring on her finger, playing with the rings that she already had, looking at these men come forth and talk about their lineage and everything to impress her, to want to put them in running to be her new husband. We get this old man that comes first. She like, no, you older than my own father. Like, bye. He gone. Then comes this young boy, and she looks up like, and now a child. And this boy says he's this and that. He's a Baratheon, and and um and you know they call the Baratheons Blackwoods. I think they did. I think that's what they call them. But you got like a group of men off to the side talking stuff, got something to say about everybody that's stepping forward. So this one in particular says this child, like, he said something about him, and the young man had said, you know, I'm this, my family is this, and if you marry me, we can join our bloodlines and all this and that. And I'm a good protector. And in his face, he reminds me of the little boy. What was his name? Robin. He had the crazy mother that they put through the floor on the original Game of Thrones. She was the sister to the Stark children. I mean, well, she was the aunt to the Stark children. Remember her? I forgot what her name was on there, but yeah, her son was weird, and they tried to make they was trying to get Sansa to marry him. This little boy in the face and looks, he put you in the mind of that child from Game of Thrones. But this little boy, he said, "But I can protect you. You will be protected." And I was looking at him like, "Oh, you just and you mean it too. You look like you very well mean that she's gonna be protected." But I was thinking to myself like, what kind of protection can you give, little boy? So he gets the people on the side, the vocal gallery over there on the side, the main one talking ish and cutting everybody down with words. Him and the little boy get into it. The man that was sitting next to, I guess he was like her advisor. The man that was sitting next to Rhaenyra, he like, come on, we don't have time. You don't need to see this. And they start to walk off, and she looks back and she sees that the little boy and the man have gotten into a fight, and the little boy stabs the man, cuts him with his sword. I said, well, he just showed me that he is a protector. Looks can be deceiving once again, right? So then we get back to King's Landing. Because Rhaenyra is like, this tour is dumb. I don't want to do this. We get back to King's Landing. And the people are standing around and someone walks in. Who is it? It's Damon. He back. He come back with a crown on and everything. Viserys is like, oh, so you a king now? You got your crown? You earned your crown? And Damon bows to Viserys and is like, um, this is for you. I'm never going to be king. You are the crown. You are the king of the realm. And all those things. I can never be king over you. And he takes the crown off and hands it to Viserys. Viserys inquires about where Lord Corlys is. And Corlys Valerian, like, y'all won this fight together. Like, where is he? So Daemon lets him know that Corlys is off to go meet somebody somewhere. I forgot what family name or dynasty or whatever it is that he went to go meet, but basically he meeting to get wed his daughter to somebody so they can build a strong house. So not sir, Miss Lena, she's gonna get married because the king didn't marry her. He chose Allison, remember? So, and he didn't choose Lenore for Rhaenyra. So Corliss is still, and Corliss feels slighted and he feels pissed. You don't want to join our houses, which is apparent because you didn't want to wed my daughter, and then you didn't want to wed your daughter to my son. Now, and we didn't won this war against the Crab King and all that kind of stuff. And you also took 3 years to send help to me and Damon when we went out there to fight the Crab King. So I ain't got time for you now. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm gonna get my daughter married. So he's off with some other family in a high standing that can, give a good bloodline, give good offspring to his daughter. So Viserys and Damon hug, right? Then we see, um, we get a reprieve in the caddy. I don't want to say it's cattiness. It's a little awkwardness mixed with, I don't know, something else. Let me turn this TV down because the episode is replaying again, but it's like cattiness. It's not cattiness. It's like awkwardness and stuff between Rhaenyra and Allison because they were best friends. And I've been watching other people's reviews of this show as well. And a lot of people feel like they think Rhaenyra kind of might have a crush on Allison and her uncle. They not sure if it's she wants to be with her uncle Damon, or even her uncle Damon looking at her like that, or if she got, like I said, like got a crush on Allison and wants to be more than friends. But I think it was just a friendship. So anyway, back to this. We see Allison and Rhaenyra have a quick chit chat and out in the garden and stuff, and excuse me. They have a quick chit chat, and it was good to see because it wasn't real forced. It wasn't like pulling teeth on Allison's part to try to get Rhaenyra to talk to her. It was a cool conversation. And Allison, let her know that she kind of like let Rhaenyra know, like, yes, I'm the queen, but I don't have friends no more. You was my friend, and I miss our friendship. But I know things changed once I had to get married to your father. And I'm thinking she kind of like letting Rhaenyra know too that she doing her duty. Like she didn't really want to marry that old man. Like we grew up together. We was raised together because of my father's station in life. I was close to you, but I'm thinking that in this conversation, in very subtle ways, she's letting Rhaenyra know I didn't want to marry your father. Okay, so like let's try to rebuild our friendship because it's not what I wanted. I just did what I was told I had to do, and he's the king, and when he commands, I have to do. And Rhaenyra also talks about the fact that she's sick of this whole thing with her father trying to force her to get married, and choose a husband and everything. Like she wanted to do so much more in life than to be somebody bringing heirs. Like she said, my mother died trying to give my father an heir to the throne. That's not what I want for my life. I don't want to be some damn baby making machine. And she basically reduces Allison to that. Is like that's all you are. You just a person to bring forth more heirs to the throne. Like you just a baby making machine to my father. So they kind of like held hands and they smiled at each other, and like I said, it was a very pleasant conversation. Then she goes off to have a conversation with her uncle Damon. Um, that he missed, he let her know that he came back because he missed the comforts of home and all that kind of stuff like that. So at some point, this is when we start getting to the juicy. As they having this conversation, her and her uncle. No, after they have the conversation, we see Rhaenyra. It's dark out. It's nighttime at this point. Rhaenyra goes up to her room. As she's getting ready to go in, Sir Kristen, her protector, her knight, comes out of her room. She goes in. She finds a scroll. She opens it. It's a drawing of her room. And basically, this drawing is letting her know that there's a secret door in her room behind the bed somewhere. And she goes and she looks for it. She opens, the secret passageway, looks out. Next thing you know, we see her dressed as a page, which is like a regular little boy with the head on, a regular shirt, without, she's dressed to sneak out as if she belongs in the town, right? So she leaves King's Landing. She goes down the steps and through this passageway. And this passageway are all it's all the monuments to the kings and the wives of the past and all that stuff, right? She does not know who put the scroll in her room to let her know that you can get out. Because we don't see words, we just see drawing. When she gets down to the bottom of the stairwell and get to her long, dark passageway, she sees her uncle. And he has like something over the hood. Mind you, I meant to let y'all know that him didn't cut his hair off. So they go and he goes and takes her out in the town. I'm like, wow. So she's like, she happy. It's a taste of freedom for her, if you will. Getting out of the castle and stuff. He's basically showing her like there's ways you can do things for your own pleasure while still being a princess. But you gotta do it in the cloak of darkness. And you gotta be slick and sneaky about it. He teaching her to be slick and sneaky, okay? They go through the town, they come upon a play. And the people are playing Rhaenyra and her father and Daemon. And they talking smack about who's to be the heir. Is it the brother, the daughter, or the son? And they got this lady, her face is not painted pretty at all. Making fun of Rhaenyra and all that. And she's like, boo, boo, whatever. And then that's when her uncle pulls her away and they leave there. They pick up some cups along the way. They eat, steal and stuff. Rhaenyra stole a cookie, biscuit, or whatever that was and ran off without paying. And somebody chases her for a second. Just for a quick second, she gets chased. And then her uncle reappears behind her. Somebody that's part of King's Landing, like a knight or somebody like that. A low-level knight. They recognize her and look at her like, but they let her go. And that's when her uncle comes up to her. Takes her to another place. At this point, I had my head down. And when I heard these certain noises, I looked up. He took this child to a goddamn brothel. I'm guessing by this time, Rhaenyra gotta be about 15, 16 at this point. As an uncle, why are you taking your niece into a brothel? As an uncle, why are you taking your niece into a freaking brothel? They walk through, he tell her, come on. They goes down in the belly of the brothel, down in the pits, down in the dungeon. Just like Candy Dungeon, right? He takes her down in the dungeon. She asks him why he's showing her this. What is he trying to teach her or show her by this? Next thing you know, he grabs her, he kisses her. And she acquiesces and kisses him back. He then pull back, look at her, goes in for more kissing, the both of them. And I'm like, what the freak? So it was true that he was looking at his niece like that? Or she was looking at him like that? I'm not going to lie to y'all. I was thoroughly disgusted. Thoroughly. Then we see him turn her around to face the wall. he snatches her clothes, her pants down, and he like, kissing her in the back of her ear or whatever. Like that hungry, I just gotta have you right this moment type of kissing. And he humping at her backside. And in my mind, at this moment, I'm like, but wait, I thought Rhaenyra was a virgin. The way he's humping at her backside and the way she's reacting, it's not giving me that he's actually penetrating her. It's giving he just rubbing up against her at this point. Still equally disgusting, if you ask me. He turns her back around, and she tries to go in for another kiss, and that's when he keep pulling away. Every time she try to kiss him, he pulling away. He pulling away. And he asks her what she noticed about the women in there. That sex is a part of a marriage. And this was all to teach her a lesson. That sex is a part of a womanly duty in a marriage. But women have sex for their own pleasure, just like men can have sex for their own pleasure. Or whatever. I said, but you took her to a brothel. You took her to a whorehouse. At this moment, he turns away from her and walks off, like disappears. And she's like, she hurry up and pull her pants up, and she comes out the door way to where they were, and like, damn it, like she's looking for him. She's saying, Uncle, Uncle. She don't see him no more. There's this little kid sitting there, and he looks weird. The kid looked like, remember a few years ago when that weird drawing or whatever that was going around social media and scaring the kids, and I believe they had YouTube videos with his face on it and it was scaring the kids. This little boy's face looked just like that. Or it looked like that mixed with, remember the little girl, the movie where the little girl climb out of the TV, you put the video in, and she climb out the TV on after the 6th day or the 7th day. Whatever, that way her face looked, that's what this little boy's face looked like. So we see Rhaenyra just leave the bathhouse. She can't find her uncle, so she leaves. She heads back to the castle. She heads back to the castle. We see her go up to her, she's sneaking back in with her head and stuff on, still looking like a page. She comes across Sir Criston Cole. She takes his helmet off, and he's like, give it back. So she playing with his helmet to entice him to come into her bedroom. The whole time we seeing this, it's the juxtaposition of us seeing this with her and the king sending for Alicent from her bedroom to his. Now, before he sent for her, it was a scene where he was in the bath. The king has leprosy. That's the word, leprosy, because I couldn't get it together to save my life. What was that, last week or the week before last? No, last week when I was doing the reviews for the first 2 episodes. The king has leprosy. The maidens that are bathing him, his bathers, are rough. His wife, Alicent, asks, can she help? So the girl moves out the way. So Alicent is cleaning it, but she's way more gentle than the maidens. And he liked her touch. So we see her do that, but then we see the king in his room, Alicent in her bed sleep. And I forgot to mention, but at this point, Alicent has had baby number 2. Baby number 2 is a girl, but I don't recall what they said the baby's name was. But baby number 2 is a girl. I don't even know if they ever said the little girl's name. Well, it looked like a girl with the little bonnet and the little dress on. I thought it was a girl, I'm assuming. But I don't recall hearing a name either. But anyway, the king sends for Alicent to come to his bedroom. She said, this late hour? They said yes. So she goes to his room. So the scenes keep flashing from what's going on in the king's room and what's going on in Ray's room. Rhaenyra, girl, what you be doing in that room when you in there by yourself? Because this whole scene was not giving me maiden, and it was maiden back then, but with these days we say virgin. It wasn't giving virgin. What you did was not giving virgin, okay? Rhaenyra entices Christian to come in that room. She kisses him. He nervous, like, what the fuck? He nervous, he's scared. But he eventually kisses her back. And this is proving what I always thought to be true. I thought that she had kind of a crush on him. I thought she was liking him. And I really thought that Daemon was liking Alicent. And if the king hadn't married Alicent, I wonder if Daemon would have tried to get with Alicent. I don't know. But that's what I was thinking. She kisses Chris. Chris kisses her back. They go over by the bed. They start unlacing their boots and all that, getting ready to get down with the get down. And them two start going at it. Now, he gets on top of her, do a little something. Homegirl flipped him over and mounts him. And I'm just like, I'm watching it, and what's playing in my head is this TikTok sound. Roll that dead like a soldier. I rode it like a soldier. I rode it like a soldier. Because I'm thinking, for you to be a virgin, or supposed to be a virgin, you sure doing a whole lot like somebody that's not new to this but true to this. So while that's going on with them, the king over there on top of Alicent, just riding her out in the bed. I said, oh, poor Alicent. She got the look on her face like, I'm just doing my duty. That's what I gotta do. I don't want to do it, but this is my king. I'm the queen now. I gotta do this and let him get his thing off so he can go to bed. So, eventually, we see Otto. Somebody go fetch for Otto. Otto comes out in the yard, like right before you go through the gates to leave King's Landing. And the guy said, I'm sorry to call you at this late hour, but there's a messenger here that wants to speak to you discreetly, whatever they have to say. So we see the messenger come through. What a spy, because they were spies. It's the ugly little boy. Oh, Lord, I wasn't supposed to say that. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's the makeup or is that their real face, but I hope that's makeup that make the face look like that, because it's weird. It got the eyes like, you know how people used to draw what they thought what aliens would look like, how the eyes would be like this? That's what the eyes look like, y'all. I don't mean to say to call somebody a child ugly. All right, forgive me, please, okay? All right, so back to it. So the boy comes to tell Otto what he saw. We didn't hear everything he said. All we saw was the boy meets with Otto. And the next thing we see is the king in his room. It's a knock at the door. It's Otto. Otto comes to him and says, I'm sorry to disturb you at this late of an hour, but it's something I need to tell you. And the king is like, oh, all right, what did Daemon do now? Because he thinking it's Daemon. Otto was like, it's not Daemon. It's the princess. And the king is like, the princess? Is she hurt? Otto was like, I learned from one of my spies that the princess was in the city and she was in a whorehouse in the Silk Cities. The king is like, what? And this when the king lets Otto know. I know you for your works, Otto. I'm not blind to you. He lets Otto know, and he lets us, the viewer, know. He not blind to Otto shit. He said, is it not enough that I let you do it? You do. Alicent did comfort me through a very, very difficult time. And I wed her. But it's not enough that I wed Alicent. Your aim is to get your kids or get your bloodline. You want the throne, basically. And he's like, you're a king. I served 2 kings before you. Such. And he starts spelling off all this other stuff. And the king laid in. I'm like, no. Yeah, you did. You definitely did. But what else would make you tell such lies about my daughter? And Otto was like, I have a spy, and I can't reveal to you who they are, but because I have several of them, but they said they saw. He said, just spit it out, like don't pussyfoot around it. Spit it out. What was she doing? Was she participating? Like what was she doing in this bathhouse with her uncle? And he was like, they were coupling. He saw the spy saw Rhaenyra and Daemon coupling. And as Ada was telling the king this, we see Allison eavesdropping and hearing the whole conversation between her father and her husband. I said, all right. Now, I will say, Allison is proven to be a very level-headed advisor. She has very good advice, I would say. And she sees things from different angles. And she sees the bigger picture. So, the king is mad. Him and Otto leave the king's chambers. And they go... No, that's not what happened. He tells Otto to leave. Otto leaves. The next day, Allison goes to talk, sends somebody to go and get Rhaenyra. So Rhaenyra comes out, her and Allison meet out in the garden. And they have a moment to talk. And the whole time that they're talking, the camera angle is giving us a view from somebody might be standing around nearby, listening in, or what those two are talking about. So Allison lets Rhaenyra know, like, she says, tell me the truth. Please don't, like, your father and I myself have done so much to find you a husband. And Rhaenyra was like, I don't want no husband that y'all trying to find me. And she don't. In Rhaenyra's mind, I'm not going to be a fucking breeder and all I do with my life is be a fucking breeder and end up dying like my mother did. That's where her head is at. So Allison is like, tell the truth. I hope you didn't get yourself ruined. She said, ruined like what? That I went into town. Yes, I stole some cookies. Yes, I saw a show. And Allison was like, no, that's not it. Tell me the truth, Rhaenyra. And Allison lets Rhaenyra know that she overheard her. Well, she lets Rhaenyra know. It was told that you and your uncle was in the warhouse and y'all were together. And Rhaenyra was like, and you believe hearsay? You don't trust me? She said, I swear on my mother. I said, oh Lord, here we go. I swear on my mother, nothing of the sort happened between my Uncle Damon and I. Yes, we went into town, we had drinks. We saw a show. He did take me to the bathhouse, but I think they called it a pillow house. He took me to the pillow house, where we saw other people engaging in sexual activities and stuff. And I told my uncle I wanted to leave. And we went to more and more taverns until we got to the bathhouse. But then my uncle disappeared on me. And I wandered back home by myself. Nothing of the sort ever happened. Like we were in there. But my uncle and I wasn't kissing each other. Is what she told Allison. And she swore on her mother's grave. I said, oh my God, right there, like, you lied to her face. And the whole time she telling her this, like I said, our vantage point, the view that we get is like we are the person spying on them, listening to this conversation. So somebody's right there listening. In the meantime, we see some guards drag. Well, first we see, what's her name? Misa, the girl that Damon was saying that he was gonna marry and that he was gonna have a baby with and all that stuff when he stole the egg. We see her. We see Damon looking like he laying on the ground, right? He kind of like come to, and she's talking to him. And he called her a whore and all that kind of stuff. And she said she's much more than that these days. And as she's talking to him, we see that same little spy come down the fucking steps and give her some coins. So I'm guessing the money he got paid for what he did, for spying, he gave it to her. So she sent the little boy to spy and see what Damon, to keep an eye on Damon and see what him and Rhaenyra was up to and all that kind of stuff. And she kind of like got an attitude with Damon at this point too. But she leaves him. She gives him something and she leaves him. He lays back down and goes to sleep. For a second, the way he was looking, I was thinking that she might have drugged him or put some kind of, poisonous leaves or berries or something in his drink to make him groggy or whatever. That's what I was thinking, right? Because I don't think they're going to kill him off this early in the story. So anyway, we see some guardsmen drag Damon in. They throw him on the ground. And we hear Otto say something, or somebody say like, the king doesn't want an audience. So they pick Damon up and they drop him in this place where they had a council meetings. We see Viserys come through dressed in all black, stand over Damon, and was like, you took my daughter to a whorehouse? My own daughter, basically your own niece. And Damon didn't deny it. And he said, you ruined her. We're trying to get her married and you ruined her. And Damon was like, I can fix it. He not denying that he might have ruined her. He says that he can fix it. That he can marry her and make her marry me. And the king is like, what? He is like in disbelief that Damon is telling him, let me marry her. He was like, that's my daughter. So the king bans Damon and tells him to go back to his damn wife in the veil. And he don't want to see his face again. He puts like, he had a dagger that he held up to Damon's neck. He kicked him a couple times and stuff too. But like I said, Damon never once denied kissing and doing something with Rhaenyra in the pillow house. Next thing we see is the king sitting at the table. Or standing, was he might have been standing. Lord Otto Hightower comes through, and we all know he's the hand of the king. When he walks through the doors, so it's just Hightower and the king. He walks through the doors, and the king said 5 days. It only took 5 days. So he goes into the story about his father. His father's name was Balin. So he named that baby by Emma that passed away. He named the little boy after his father. Something happened. The father went off for the Great War or something, got knighted. Came back a hero. Whatever it was that he did, he came back a hero. They was naming him Hand of the King. But lo and behold, before he could get named Hand of the King, 5 days later, his belly ruptured and he dies. So basically, when he dies, who's named Hand of the King? Otto Hightower. So the king says, Otto, I thank you for everything that you taught me, because you taught me how to act as king and all that. And that can only come from your great experience of serving 2 other kings, serving as Hand of the King to 2 other kings before me. But it's mighty funny and mighty odd that my father died. He was in great shape, great health. He did something, came back a hero. And just before he was named Hand of the King, he dies and you get the job. So he's paid attention to Hightower this whole time. And he lets Hightower know, I know you're after the throne. You're after the throne. And you sent your daughter to my chambers when my wife died. When my wife was dying, when she died in labor, you sent Allison to distract me from what you really was up to. I said, "You right. You're absolutely freaking right. To distract him, to distract you and give his daughter a higher station. Because if she's the queen and he's the hand of the king, power, power, power. It's all about power, but it's just not called power." He strips Ato of his title. He takes the hand of the king, little whatever this is, jewelry, brooch, pendant, whatever that is that was in Hightower's jacket. He took that from him. He stripped him of his title. He said, "You know, the realm can never repay you for all that you've done when you served those other two kings, all that you taught me. But this is your last moment, basically, as hand to the king for me. Because I didn't see it clearly before, but I see it clearly now. All this was a ruse because you want the throne." And when he was talking to Damon, Viserys also mentioned to Damon that you want the throne too, especially when Damon comes. He said, "So you took my daughter out and basically have people looking at her and thinking that she's ruined. So you could come to me and say, 'Let me marry her.' Because you wanted to be on the throne yourself this whole freaking time." I said, "Yep, King. Come on, Viserys. Put it all together. Put it all together, Viserys." Even though I still don't feel like he's going to survive. He's going to die. I don't think he's going to survive this whole season either. I don't know whose hands he's going to die at. Because I kind of think that Allison is smart enough that she might be able to read or already learn something to treat the leprosy he has and to help him live longer and stay healthy for longer. But I still think that somebody going to take Viserys out. Somebody is. But anyway, Viserys strips Hightower of his title. And then he sends for Rhaenyra. She comes to his chambers, and she's looking like, because in her mind, she even told Allison, "How come my father hasn't come to me and asked me anything about what happened?" So he brings Rhaenyra to his chambers, and they have a conversation about what happened. She tells him that her and her uncle didn't sleep together. They did no such thing as coupling and all that kind of stuff. It didn't happen. Yeah, she went out. She drank. She knows she wasn't supposed to leave King's Landing. She knows it was dangerous. But she does not. She's sick of all this stuff that he's doing to try to force her to get married because he don't want her to be heir to the throne anymore because he want to give heir to the throne to Aegon. And he's like, "That is not what I want to do. That is not what I want to do." Because she like, and she also realizes too that her father only wanted to make her heir to the throne, so he wouldn't have to name Damon as heir to the throne because he himself, he saw Damon was bloodthirsty, you know? And he felt like if he made Damon the heir, he still, I think some part of him felt like too, like Damon would try to kill me to be king. I know it. So I'm not even going to do that. So him and Rhaenyra keep going back and forth about what happened. And he's telling her, "You're ruined and all that." And she's like, "I'm not ruined, trust me." I thought he was going to make her get checked by the handmaidens or something like that, but he didn't. He was just like, "You know what? Your punishment going to be for doing what you did, because you still got to suffer the consequences. The consequence is you're going to be married. I'm forcing you to marry Laenor Valerian." So she's going to marry Laena's twin. Are they twins? Is Laena and Laenor twins? Or are they just brother and sister that are close in age? Somebody let me know in the comments. But yeah, he tells her she got to wed him. She don't want to, but that's what's going to happen. She got to get married to him She said, okay, I'll do it. I'll do as you command. But you gotta take care of what you gotta take care of with the people that's trying to take your space. I was like, wow. And you know what? I had it backwards. When she said that, that's what made him go have the second conversation with that's what made Viserys have the second conversation with Hightower and strip him of his title. That's what made him do that. He did that after she said what she said in that room. So we see after after he had the conversation with Hightower, we see Princess Rhaenyra in her room reading something, and there's a knock at the door. It's one of the servants there with something. I said, "Oh my God, what is he giving her? He better not be like this. Better not be no poison or nothing from Hightower to poison her and kill her so that she can die, and Aegon gonna have to be named heir to the throne because she's gone. But we know that can't happen because she's the person of the story, like she the main person. But you know, in the regular Game of Thrones, you couldn't say that because they was killing the main person left and fucking right, you know. But in this one, I don't think they gonna kill her, not just yet. But anyway, she said, "What is this?" And he said, "Your father sent it." The servant says, "Your father sent this. It's tea for you to drink. It's supposed to do," because he said it's either going to do what it's supposed to do or it's going to make you sick or something. And that's when she said, "Well, what is it?" And he told her it's a tea to take care of any consequences that she may have had. So I said, "Oh, wow." So the king, like, I ain't fitting to believe her wholeheartedly. Let me make her drink this drink that'll give her forced abortion if she so happens to be with child, because she actually did have sex with Damon, or she actually had sex, period. So he's not clear on whether or not she had sex with Damon, nor whether or not she actually had sex. He don't know if she lying or not. So to protect everything, he like, "You gonna drink this tea? Cause if you are with child from whoever, that baby won't come into this world. I tell you that." And she looks at the container, and like the little pot, it was like a little teapot. She just looking at it, and the episode goes off, and I'm like, wow, this was a good episode, y'all. This show been good. It's been giving it to me on Sundays. I be looking forward to Sundays now, because guess what? Powerhouse, Powerhouse, Power, Power Book 3, Raising Canaan. It's not giving what was supposed to be gave. It's whack. Raising Canaan been whack, y'all. I don't review it. I watch it for my own pleasure, but it's been super whack. So this daggone House of the Dragon is giving me all I need. It is. I'm really enjoying this show. I can't wait to see what else is gonna happen. But never girl. I mean, if you was a virgin, teach me your ways. Well, shit, it's too late. I can't even say teach me your ways. Was that ship didn't sail for me. But it's just like, for somebody that was supposed to be a maiden, a virgin, she sure hopped up on top of, she sure was turned around and ready for whatever with her uncle in that bathhouse. And she sure hopped on top of Sir Kristen Cole like she been doing this for a long time now. So with that being said, I see y'all in the next video. Hope y'all enjoyed this review of House of the Dragon, Season 1, Episode 4, King of the Narrow Sea. I see y'all in the next one. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe button on your way in or on your way out. Get this channel growing, and I'm hoping y'all enjoying these reviews for the House of the Dragon. I'll see y'all in the next one. Till next week, y'all. Peace. Excuse me, y'all, while I try to get my bonnet situated. I just came back real quick to say one last thing. I forgot to mention that after their conversation, Rhaenyra's and Allison made sure to go back and tell the king that what Rhaenyra told her, what she admitted to, the story she gave, and she let him know that she believed her. There's like you. She gave him this advice: you know your brother to be deceitful, but Rhaenyra has never been deceitful. So do with that what you as you will, but you can't tell when Damon is lying and telling the truth. But basically, I believe Rhaenyra, and I believe that she did not do what she's being accused of doing, is what she said to the king. And she advised him, to do whatever he deemed is necessary to punish the brother, but she gotta he need to let Rhaenyra off the hook because somebody lied on her to destroy her reputation. And the king was like, but why would Damon admit to doing these things? Like, why would he confess to it if it's a lie? And so her thought is, so to reduce you, to bring you down a peg, to bring you down a notch, basically. And that's the last part that I had to say. Allison ain't no dummy either, y'all. Pay attention to Allison. Watch her.